I'm happy to see that there is a little bit of pushback on moving over to Rednote. Now, I think that everyone downloading it, I downloaded it myself, and getting on there and everything was a good FU to the government, but it is not going to be a good replacement to TikTok because of how censored it is. I mean, TikTok in the future isn't going to be a good replacement to TikTok. So even if TikTok goes away temporarily, Trump brings it back, it's going to be with some limitations on what you can talk about on this app. And if you think that like being able to talk about anything anti-Israel or anything that is having opinions that are against the status quo with regards to Luigi. I mean, I'm already seeing way more MSNBC and CNN and stuff like that in my feed than I'd ever seen before. So they're already starting to capitulate. Like, hey, look how many views you can get CNN. Look how many likes you can get MSNBC. Look how much engagement you can get Fox News, right? So like, so the they're already starting to move over to a model that's going to be more friendly to the corporate powers. They don't want to have to go through this again. So, Rednote is just like, I mean, it's basically run by the Communist Party. I mean, like, there's a lot of cool stuff in China that is awesome, and even some things that we probably didn't know. But there's also some like relative misinformation. Like some lady got on here and she was like, there's only 0.18% homelessness in China, and like making it sound like that's a really small number. Well, up until 2023, and this was actually like it had gone up from 2022. It was 0.019% in the United States. So like without that fact, it's 0.23% now. But without that fact of like it's 20%, 22% more than China's homeless population, still significant. Still like we should be doing better than a communist country like China, I would imagine. But it's just like the insinuation there was that it's this, oh, like it's like oh, they only have this. It's like it was borderline the same until a year and a half ago, right? So the idea that like China is better, stealing people's in their homes, and like, I mean, they have a complete government shutdown. Like you can lose social status, and you don't have access to your bank accounts or anything anymore. Like you can't pay, you can't buy stuff, you can't travel, you can't. If you think for a second that they're going to that China would let the Americans go on that app and start actually like really communicating them with any real meaningful thing, like they are pre-censoring themselves to make it like, oh, like the only thing that we're seeing is the great things about China, and that's all they're allowed to post on their social media platforms. Is that the platform that we all should move to and we all should be happy with? Like if you're angry that Trump's going to have more control over TikTok because he's going to be the one to save it, and the owner of TikTok is going on there creating a video thanking Trump and all this, then you should apply that same feeling towards Rednote and their government, because that's what they do, and we're not going to be more free over there, right? We're not going to be more free using a Chinese app. Again, love the sentiment. I'm a huge fan of everybody downloading it as just a big FU. The reality is, though, this happens with every social media platform. And we can just keep playing whack-a-mole and going to whatever next non-advertised on platform it is, have a little bit of fun. Then everyone starts making money. Then the advertisers come, and then either some regulation happens or they take it over, right? Facebook was great for a little bit, and then the CIA started implanting people in the security part of it, and I mean it's like all ex-CIA people that run the department that determines what gets censored on the platform, right? And I mean Facebook for me is just ads and people I never wanted to follow and don't want to follow showing up in my feed, and and a couple every once in a while, some people that I know post on. It's nothing like this, right? The algorithm sucks. It's all ads. It's all propaganda, and it's all and you can't say like I'm when I post something, I get literally no like I know that some of the people on my friends list or whatever would like it, like that it's right up their alley. I have groups of friends that would appreciate some of the content I put out. I get nothing, knowing maybe one like, and that's because it's not showing to anybody. That's because a long time ago they decided that the things that I was saying wasn't something that they wanted other people to be able to see. Okay, so that is, and that happens here on TikTok prior to all of this happening. It's going to happen more and more and more as we go. Watch, but that happened before, and then expecting some oligarch, right? Some rich person to save us, right? Like whether you're left or right or whatever, and you know, if Elon Musk is your guy, right? Like he's censoring people on the right that don't agree with him on HB1, right? So there is like they're losing their blue check marks. They're being dropped from the algorithm in the feed, right? So that's a consequence of you can never, no one's going to save us. The only thing, even if you get some person that's not a billionaire, they're not an oligarch, they have really good intentions. One thing that comes to mind is potentially like Neptune, right? What do you think's going to happen if Neptune's the one that blows up? What do you think's going to happen when MAGA starts to use it and starts to say things about like, oh, there are only two genders or whatever thing they want to say, right? Like, maybe you don't agree with that, and who knows what the right sentiment is around it. But shouldn't someone be able to say that so you can refute it, right? Like that's how I feel about things on both sides. Is we have to, when we start limiting speech based on political views and personal viewpoints and not trying to hurt people's feelings and stuff like that, like then one, we can't refute it. We can't like that person doesn't get the feedback of, bro, you're a retard, right? Like that, they don't get the feedback of this is not like your position doesn't make any sense or whatever, right? Whatever the position is. So the only solution is a genuinely free speech platform, and the only way to build it is ourselves. If 10% of the people on TikTok, that would be 18 million people, because it's 180 million, 18 million, I think my math's correct. 18 million people pitched in $1, that's $18 million, right, to start a new platform that's owned by the people. And the great thing is we already have a platform to do this. We can use the blockchain to set up a contract that everyone who's part of it can vote on. Everybody gets a vote. It's all equal vote, regardless of how many shares or tokens you buy in the DAO to contribute towards the platform. If 1%, 180,000 donate $10, you still there you have the 1.8 million, right? So there is that right? I don't know. My math wasn't quite right on that, but we could do this not just for social media. We could get rid of Amazon. We could build our own marketplace that is equitable and fair, and it's not gonna, like a marketplace that's not gonna actually steal your products if you start doing good, right? So there is a lot that could happen with a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization that lives on the blockchain. Not to mention we could help fund and start other businesses. People work for a shitty company, they want to start their own company and pool their resources and all work together. They can all do that. That's the great thing about it. There's a website, Simmer DAO, DAO for Decentralized Autonomous Organization, that starts to explain how we could do this and how we could put it together. I would like to see it, and I would like to see it happen like that. And I think it's a solution to a lot of our societal problems.